Thousands of absentee ballots in North Carolina set to be mailed out today are now delayed. Today, a court ordered elections boards to remove Robert F. Kennedy Jr. from the ballot 2 weeks after he dropped out of the race for president.
This afternoon, a North Carolina Court of Appeals judge granted Kennedy's request by having his name removed from the ballots. Now the State Board of Elections is appealing that decision. And while this legal battle is happening, election directors in different counties are stuck in the middle. While Best works through the weekend, the State Board of Elections has directed county officials to not mail out any absentee ballots until the state gives a go-ahead.
Like, if the candidate is not a valid candidate in the election, then he could be taking votes away from people that are valid candidates. So it's quite a conundrum because I don't want the state to pay for it, but I also don't want the ballot to not be totally valid.
What's going on, guys? So we got to talk about this disastrous week that has occurred, and the leftists are melting down over it because nothing really went their way. For some odd reason, they're trying to brag about Dick Cheney, of all people, being the guy who endorsed Kamala Harris. Between him and Liz Cheney, makes absolutely no sense to try to brag about something that stupid, but they tried it anyway.
I'm honored to have their endorsement, and I think that what they both, as leaders who are well respected.
Slap yourself. In addition to that occurring, which in my opinion is a massive L, Mr. Weapons of Mass Destruction himself, which obviously nobody should buy anymore. Hopefully people are educated enough on that where I don't have to go into detail about that. But on top of that, you had the situation where Trump had his sentencing delayed, and you also had, per the intro, RFK Jr. being removed from the North Carolina ballot, giving Trump a better fighting chance to win that particular swing state. So before we get into this crazy clip of CNN melting down, I want to react to what they had to say about Trump having his sentencing delayed because they're just freaking pissed off about everything. Let's get into it.
Everyone is missing in this moment is we're talking about this because the sentencing was delayed. And Donald Trump has built this storyline that the system is against him, that they're so political. And instead of us talking about, whether or not he should be doing it, we should be rallying and saying, like, I think he should have been sentenced. But the judge said, I don't want the appearance of politics to be played in this. And so the system.
But you don't mind the appearance of politics. You think you get to decide if he should be sentenced right now, huh? Right before the election. You see the lack of confidence in this radical leftist, weak and pathetic. This is how this person always is. Allison. This is how she always is on CNN. A freaking pathetic loser. This is what the Democrats have become. This is why they deserve to lose, and why they're going to lose is because they're pathetic. She's one of the people who defends Kamala Harris's hiding and Joe Biden's cognitive decline, by the way.
Yet again for Donald Trump in ways that it didn't work for the average American.
Can I throw in it's not my kind of counter opinion, but this is from Karl Rove, who kind of takes a bit of a different view of it, a different way of looking at what happened with the sentencing today.
If he had gone forward with this, it would have, ironically enough, served the interest of Donald Trump. Donald Trump has risen in the polls. The more that people have reacted negatively to his treatment in the courtroom, he would have potentially gone after Donald Trump in his verdict, and the reaction of the American people might have been wholly negative on it and helped advance the cause of Donald Trump in the election.
Well, that's the whole point. The reason, in my opinion, why they delayed the sentencing is not because they care about anything really else besides the long game. They're trying to get him in the end. And you see the sentencing wasn't delayed until 2025 after Inauguration Day. It was delayed until after the election. So all else fails, election's over, Trump wins. Oh, well, we could still try to sentence him and maybe still try to put him in jail and prevent him from being in the White House again. But obviously that's not going to work. You also have this presidential immunity thing, which effectively makes it where this whole case is going to get thrown out, guys. Like, Democrats cope and seethe because the case is going to get thrown out due to presidential immunity. It is what it is. Even if it hasn't happened yet, it's going to happen.
That's exactly my point. I'm agreeing. God help me. I'm agreeing with Karl Rove, Dick Cheney, and Karl Rove in one night.
Right.
You know,
early 2000s are back.
Woo, I mean, but that's what I mean is that like
hell did freeze over. We've established
Basically, so people like Dick Cheney, you know, people like him, they call him racist in the past too. So they're not racist anymore if you start agreeing with leftist ideology. You're only a racist if you're on the right.
But Donald, if we would have sentenced it would have played into Donald Trump's book. And instead of like letting him continue with this narrative that everyone is out to get him, the system actually said, we want to let the American people decide. Even if like as a political person, I was like, I don't think that's the way it should have gone, but it did.
I think, look, this is going to be a race that's going to be win or loss on the margins. And I do think that there is an effective message undercurring to what Trump is ultimately trying to say. And it's not just necessarily about the establishment or the legal system or the president or the vice president is after just him. There's about 40% of the country who believes they're also after them and their values and their culture and their way of life.
I mean, it's not that we believe that. They are. They're trying to deplatform people on the right. The people on the right always get deplatformed. They never deplatform the people on the left, no matter how fringe, no matter how radical. As far as I'm concerned, if you talk about transitioning kids, you the one who need to be deplatformed. You don't need protection and safe space. So you need to be deplatformed because you're a closet pedo. Pretending, don't even get me started on the whole minor attracted persons. Now they're trying to find a new way to soften up. Instead of saying pedo, they just call it minor attracted persons. These people are the ones who need to be deplatformed.
I don't think that should be dismissed. And many of those voters do look at Donald Trump as this mechanism to achieve some type of a restorative action for their plight. Question for the Trump campaign.
I find it ironic.
No, it does matter.
In 2020, Republicans were screaming at the top of their lungs when people were changing rules because we were in a once-in-a-lifetime global pandemic and we needed to do it to accommodate voters. And now on the day when voters should actually be able to start to vote, it's Republicans actually preventing people to do. We are now in a system. I want to remove the politics.
Hey guys, okay, it is freaking early September. The election is November 5th, and this lady's complaining because we can't vote in early September. Like some places, I don't even think every place even has early voting. I think like most places have it now, but most places, like I can't vote until like October. This lady's complaining because it's like a 5-day delay. You complain about 5 days? You gotta be freaking shitting me.
And actually talk about people be able to exercise the franchise. And it is disenfranchising North Carolina voters right now.
5 days.
They believe they could start voting today and they are not. And that is how confusion is disseminated in communities. That is how mis and disinformation starts.
Oh, okay. Oh, you crazy.
I am.
Well, I'm out, man. That nigga's tripping.
That is how you start to see narratives that our system is not working when you let politics play into the role of when people should be able to start voting. Follow the rules. He was on the ballot. He wanted to run. He decided he doesn't want to run. Then he should have made a better decision 6 months ago.
Whatever happened to following the rules? Y'all cooed Joe Biden and y'all didn't allow nobody to vote in your primary. What do you mean follow the rules? Y'all don't follow no damn rules. You're trying to get Donald Trump locked up because you can't beat him in the damn election. What do you mean follow the rules?
But disenfranchising voters right now is not right.
It's amazing. But does he not have the right to remove his name from the ballot?
Not if he missed the deadline.
He may not have.
Be an adult.
Because I think Democrats want him on the ballot because the recognition is that most of his voters fit the category of Trump voters.
We actually didn't want RFK on the ballot, but he fought and did what he needed to do to get on the ballot. And then he did some quid pro quo with Donald Trump to get a cabinet slot or whatever, and now he wants off the ballot. Well, tough luck, guy. If you want it, almost
threw a flag.
No. Tough luck, bruh. If you wanted to be the leader of the free world, make better decisions. Don't wait till the last minute when people are actually starting to vote and then try and file an injunction 4 days before.
But it's beneficial to Democrats to have him on the ballot.
Jesus Christ, what a freaking nut job this lady is. You see how insane, like this is what it looks like when somebody's not confident. You see how she just, she just chirping into the wind, coping and seething and just upset because she knows that doomsday is coming. Like the whole Kamala Harris, the whole blue wave, whatever the hell they wanted to call it, the surge that she was supposed to get, this DNC surge and like the joy, whatever, all of that It's just over with. It was fraudulent, fake, and manufactured from the beginning. It was never real. So now you got to do so. Just think about it. If you got to do all of this to win, is it even worth winning if you sacrifice your soul? You done try to remove RFK from the ballot, but now you're trying to fight to keep him on the ballot. And then you try to remove Trump from the ballot. You try to put all of these fraudulent cases against him. You try to do criminal, and then you know that that's not going to work that easily. So you try to do a bunch of civil cases because you know you could win those much more easily, especially out there in New York. You got people out here trying to kill him. They done call him every negative name that you could think of. They called him liar, idiot, dictator, Hitler, racist, misogynist, xenophobe. They call him every name imaginable, going all the way as worse as you could go. Pretty much Hitler is like the worst that you could go to. They've called him that. You done tried everything against this man. It's all failed. And now this lady is basically running scared. She's peeing her pants because Kamala Harris, she knows, is about to get cooked in this debate. She's about to get destroyed, obliterated, and she's about to get freaking disintegrated by her own words, probably. Trump probably not going to really have to do much of anything except let her talk herself into a corner and Trump give like a little common sense rebuttal. She's going to get Thanos snapped. She's going to just disappear, turn to dust, okay? Even worse, potentially, than Sleepy Joe. People forget. Some people think Kamala Harris, oh, she's a prosecutor. She's going to be fine. Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden were both attorneys as well. They weren't prosecutors, but they were attorneys. Cooked. A lot of these politicians be attorneys, practicing law. And they all got destroyed by Teflon Don. Shout out to Tulsi Gabbard, who destroyed Kamala Harris, arguably in her prime. Still destroyed. The only person who Kamala Harris has ever beaten in a debate is Sleepy Joe. And even that's debatable. That's the closest that she done got. And Sleepy Joe is a much different opponent than Teflon Don. It's not nobody's fault if you can't win fair and square. Democrats, just try to fight the fight. Stop being cowards. Stop trying to hide Kamala. Stop trying to remove people from the ballot. Keep them on the ballot. Just doing all of these extremely underhanded tactics. Suing people to remove them from the ballot. Suing them to keep them on the ballot. Like, this just sounds insane. Who the hell supports people like this? They want to talk about Trump. Who the hell supports people? We're going to get them deplatformed. Who the hell is happy about? What type of sickos are y'all? Was he like, we happy? Yes, they got deplatformed. Hee hee ha ha. They removed them from the internet. Exactly what I wanted is totalitarianism and dictatorship type stuff. The stuff that they claim that they're against. What happened to all this democracy talk? Trying to remove candidates from the ballot is not very democratic of you. But guys, these people are just flat out hypocrites. It's not about any of their talking points. It's just about orange man bad. At the end of the day, it's Trump derangement at its peak. These people are sick, and this is why I relish in the fact that they're getting their ass kicked in the polls. The dark hour is near, and I can't wait for Doomsday on November 5th when they announce that Teflon Don is going to be the next president of the United States. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate you watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.
The Teflon Don slips immediate accountability again.
Just a little sauce that we're once again getting no explanation for saving the white guy who has just ruined our country for 9 years.
Now he's getting his own private system of justice. This is an absolute travesty.
I'm pretty pissed off. It's just a little not fair.